going on, everybody? Welcome back to Come On, Get Happy Hour. The first question of the night is the most important one, and that's, how are you doing, Judy Sketch Lewinson?
I am doing wonderfully. How are you doing, Stevie?
I'm good. That's my partner in crime up in Canada, wherever that is. It's somewhere.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny. There are so many Americans in Canada right now. They
Really?
figured out a way to get in. I'm not going to say what it is, but there's a way that they've been able to get in without having to quarantine for 14 days.
Why won't you say it? Can you
Because I don't want more
say
people
it?
coming
You
in.
mouth it, but I can't. You just,
I'll text it to you later.
all right. Because, I got loose lips and I sink a lot of ships. The
All
Titanic.
these ships
I'm
at the
the
bottom of the
Titanic of
ocean.
secrets.
Oh,
Don't
goodness.
If you don't want a secret out, don't tell me.
Mm.
I'm like the Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah, Chelsea Handler is up here right now.
Chelsea's up
And
there?
yeah, she's been up here for a little while.
Is she
If you get
living up
her
there?
her Instagram, she's showcasing all of the places that we usually keep a secret. So there's
Well, hi,
that.
Chelsea.
Um
Tell her I said, what's up?
yeah, Julia Stiles just came through last week. She's up here. Sherry Shepherd is up here.
You're in the Couve, right? Tell Sherry I said,
Yes, I am.
well, they shoot a lot. That's
Yeah.
North Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood North.
Hollywood North,
Yeah,
exactly.
so there's a lot of shooting stuff going up here, but now that they've figured out how to get in for shooting, some of them are coming in just for their own placations. And
Location scouting.
yeah, so it's all
I'm a
good.
method actor. I need to live somewhere for like a
So
year
yeah,
for the character.
I'm going to be playing the role of someone who has free health care. I'd like to live in the environment of that for a while, see how
Try
that
it out.
goes. But
What's
it's
my
actually not.
boy,
It's not bad. Everyone that's come up so far has been really
ever see
lovely.
Lachlan Monroe?
Well, he lives up here. He lives
Yeah.
about, I want to say about 35, 40 minutes from me.
Lachlan, I said, what's up? We've had some wild
Yeah.
nights back in the day.
Yeah, he's cool. Very,
I'm
very
gonna get him
cool.
on the show so I can divulge all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He may lose his acting gig if I spill the beans.
Tell too many stories.
Mr. Titanic goes telling stories again.
Well, we'll just talk about his weigh-in movies.
Is what?
The weigh-ins movies that he's in.
All the Wayans movies. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's always the token
And
white
then
guy.
and how they contrast that with all the Lifetime Hallmarky movies he's in.
Yeah, he would show me a script sometime. One time, I think he did a personal trainer. One time, he played a comedian,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd say, "Dude, you're stealing all my parts. I mean, no wonder I don't get work." He
Yeah.
literally was like,
Yeah.
and I gave him. I punched up the one he played a stand-up comic. I gave him a couple of stock jokes, and I think he used a couple. I didn't get
Yeah.
credit.
That's
I'm waiting
cool.
for that credit and that residual check.
Well, blame it on the postal service.
Yeah. All right. So this week's I haven't done a category. I haven't done a list in a while.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought of car movies, the movie cars, like the coolest cars from movies.
Okay.
There's a gazillion, and it's all like, in the eye of the beholder, what type of fan you are, what type of car. Do you want
Sure,
silly
yeah.
cars? Johnny Sanchez, the comedian, said, Herbie the Love Bug. I'm like, a talking car doesn't count. Johnny
Oh,
said,
that's so funny. Because I love Herbie Love, but I don't consider it as a car. He was a character, so
yeah,
it's a little different.
who's a character.
Yeah.
When the hood goes up and down and talks to you, it's null and void,
Right.
eliminated from the list.
You're right.
That was like badass cars.
Mm-hmm.
And so two that aren't real cars, I let them slide because one I liked, one you liked, so we slid those in. The other
Okay.
ones are legit.
Okay.
So it's not in any particular order except for the number one car. So the other
Right.
ones, I just kind of spun the wheel.
There we
All
go.
right, you want to hear them?
All right, let's line it up. Top movie cars.
A little old school mixtape here. We got one of our two guests tonight was a DJ back in the day, and he doesn't know that
Nice.
I'm going to tell everybody he was a DJ because he's Mr.
Sweet.
Cool now. So we're gonna bust him on that. So let me pause this real quick. Okay, so let's hit it. In no particular order, and tell me if I get more than 10 because I didn't write the numbers down. These are bad. You know how much I
Let's
was.
just go. Let's just
This is
go.
5 minutes ago, so that's
This is how we do it in
our
the
research
trailer.
team. Google. All right, real quick. Shit, showtime. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
All right. This one, I think is number 10. I don't know. Like I said, it may be more than 10. I'm going to bang them out though. A 48 Ford Deluxe from Grease Lightning. Okay, here we go. 66 Thunderbird from Thelma and Louise. That was a smooth ride.
Okay. Yeah.
And like I said, no particular order. This one probably should be up higher on the list, but it's the way I wrote them down from Google. And this happens to be one of your favorite sketch. Okay. 64 Aston Martin, baby. From DB5 from 007.
Yes. Okay. I am all about an Aston Martin. Any fan that wants to buy me an Aston Martin, a real one, I already have a toy model. Feel free to send it. Thank you.
I had a friend, I'll drop a little name here, John Taylor, Duran man. And so nice they named it twice. He had one. He told me he sold it to Jamiroquai. Then he regretted it. And about a year later, he called Jamiroquai. He tried to buy it back, and he goes, "Sorry, mate, I crashed that car." So,
yeah, because he's always racing his cars too. He's got a nice car collection. Jamiroquai.
I got to check him. I wonder if he's been on Leno's garage. I'm gonna talk to Troy about him. 32 Coupe from American Graffiti, badass coupe. And I know Troy loves his 32 Coupes. We'll get to that. And another one. We gave you two favorites tonight. That's how much I love you, Sketch.
Thanks.
The DeLorean.
Oh, of course. Back to the Future. Because it flies and travels through time. That's amazing.
You know why the DeLorean was so speedy? It was loaded with cocaine. John DeLorean. All right. Bad dad joke. Sorry.
I can't wait till the club's open so people can come see you do this in person.
I know. I need. I'm itching to tell some inappropriate jokes. 70 Charger from Fast and Furious. Vin Diesel. There you go. Right there. Okay, 85 Modena Spider. What movie was that from? The Spider. Oh, Back to the Future. No. Ferris Bueller.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Got to run the speedometer backwards. And he tipped the guy a Finsky. Remember that? The valet? To get respect.
Yeah.
Don't worry. All right. And the 68 Mustang GT 390, I think it was, from Steve McQueen's Bullet. Iconic.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't even know. I didn't mention that.
Car. There's a good backstory on that car. It was like they couldn't find it for like 30, 40 years. I might ask Troy about that. But it was like in storage, and then the guy's son like inherited it. And anyway, they found it. I think it went on the auction block last year, the year before, for I don't know, a couple of mil or something. Maybe Troy know about that. I'm gonna make a note to ask Troy, because that's the way I
ask Troy questions during his interview. That's cool. Yes. Let's do that.
And somehow, like I said, they were not numbered in any order, except for there is a number 1. Somehow that popped up.
It has to be a number 1. Yes.
I wonder what it's going to be. I think you know the answer.
Schmokey. Oh, look at that. Schmokey and the Bandit.
So lucky that the Bandit. It's weird how that works like that.
I mean,
all right.
It's amazing. If they ever redo that movie, I certainly hope you get to play
that. That was the top 10 or 11-ish list of cool cars. The thing about this is I got to wait till the applause dies down. It's not like a 2-second, 3-second. It's like,
you're right.
We get it.
So amazing. So who do we have on the show tonight, Stevie?
Tonight we have 2 old buddies of mine. One's an actor, a producer, and I really admire this guy because, like you and I, Sketch, he gets shit done.
Yeah.
He doesn't wait for the phone to ring. He makes shit happen. He's an actor, producer. Going to pull him up in just a second. Mr. Devin Reeve is coming up in just a second.
Awesome.
We'll fly that in. And a dude we've had on the show several times, one of my good buddies. He may deny that. Mr. Troy Ladd, legendary hot rod builder. Mr. Troy Ladd, Hollywood Hot Rods. So without further ado, I don't even know what ado means, but we're going to talk about shitty cars too. Look at this. Things that should not be done.
Oh, what happened there?
The Lambo Trans Am.
I'll say it ain't so.
Arrest whoever did that, first of all.
That is
hold on, let me see if I got a couple more silly ones real quick before we bring them up. Had a couple of silly ones queued up. All right, I think we're good. I'll show you my memory today from exactly 1 year ago. Can you see that?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Looks like the Bandit's going to make another run. It's my Trans Am in front of a Charmin.
That would make sense for a new movie. Yeah. In these days.
Oh, there's one more.
All right.
The actor, how do you pronounce his name? Yaphet Kotto. Great
Okay.
actor.
Yaphet, yeah.
Live and Let Die, legendary actor. Live and Let Die, he drove this car right here. It was called the Pimp Mobile. It was a Corvado. It was a Chevy Corvette fitted
And an Eldorado?
with an Eldorado.
Wow.
Eldorado.
Right.
Pimp Mobile.
Corvado.
And I was thinking I might rock that. I could drive that, I think.
Some possibilities there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Our first guest. Is you ready, Sketch?
I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, then, world. Let's get to it.
Let's kick it. My first guest is a buddy of mine. He's an actor, producer. He's a lead in a new film called Woods of Ash, another one called The Alum. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he's got a new company that, Sketch, you might dig this. It's called Intellects. It's like the Asian breakdown service, if you know what that is for casting. I hope you can explain that to me. Give it up for my man, Mr. Devin Reeve. Look at that applause. They know who's coming up. This handsome dude right here, actor, producer, all that jazz. A buddy of mine for 20 plus years, even though we haven't aged one day. My man, Devin Reeve. What's up, brother?
I'm doing good, Stevie. How you doing, brother?
You look younger than you did in 1999 when I met you.
Hey, you know what? It's thanks to, beard in a box.
You just airbrushed a little gray. I like that little airbrush.
Little airbrushing there. I got to keep it, let's be honest. It's all just the California weather, water, and the drinking.
It's being happy. And it's,
yeah, man.
The quarantini's right here.
Hey, I think I've gone to, we're not going to talk about how many bottles we have on the shelf.
When did we meet, buddy? Back in 99 or something?
Yeah, 99, man. You guys were killing it. You, Jay Davis, a bunch of other comics killing it at Dublin's and Miyagi's and Saddle Ranch. And, back in those days, I was bartending there and, following my Hollywood dreams. And we all became friends.
You were a cool guy. I liked you from the beginning when I first met you. And Jay and I were doing the Saddle Ranch up there, Universal Studios, comedy night.
Oh, yeah, man. That was great.
Perfect setup for comedy. It's like people walking by. I'm like, oh my God, we need a curtain. We need
yeah.
Oh, we want tourists. I'm like, but tourists are saying shit and they're like crop dusting. They're saying shit and keep walking. Like, no, if they're going to say some shit, they need to be sitting their ass down so I can pickle them for a minute.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. Exactly. But those, I was talking to my fiance, the other day. She wasn't in Hollywood during the heyday of all that funness, but it was so much fun back then.
It was. I mean, the strip. My kids don't even know. I was like, your dad was the prince of the Sunset Strip, man.
Yeah.
From a 2-mile radius.
Everybody knew my name, man. It was great. But,
from Tower Records to the Laugh Factory, right in between there. No, it was good times, brother. And I was telling Sketch that one thing I admire about you is she and I are the same way. Like we make shit happen. We don't wait for the phone to ring.
Yeah.
So I know you and I have talked about it before. You produce, you direct, you're making shit happen. Where did you move out here from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, son.
All right. I lived.
Yeah, went to college in Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, my whole family's from the South. So my daddy was a country boy from North Carolina. My mama was just right outside of Fayetteville, North Carolina, in a small town called Irwin. And my granddaddy used to run moonshine. He owned a car dealership in the small town they lived in. But his real job was running moonshine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like my next guest is a famous hot rod guy, and he makes a little shine that we call hand sanitizer. So you notice I'm drinking out of a mason jar. This is a mason jar right here.
That's the best way to do it, man. Multi-purpose.
And tomorrow is St. Patty's. My wife is Irish. They call moonshine poachine.
Poachine.
So they make their own moonshine in Ireland called poachine. And when we first got together, I'm from the home of bluegrass, Kentucky, all that. And she's like, it sounds like Irish music. And then we watched an Appalachian documentary hosted by Mr. Billy Ray Cyrus. And he was talking about the the bluegrass music is from Irish music. So it's all
I can see that. Yeah, man.
Deep. Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you tried, not the store stuff that's on the store shelf now, but the first time you tried real moonshine?
I don't know what's real. I've tried a lot of shit. I don't know what constitutes real moonshine.
Well, what I compare that to is my dad was in the cemetery business.
Okay.
Growing up. So people would always, he was just a family man and always took care of, like, you know, families and the people that were going through that terrible time of having to bury someone. So he received a gift, which was a mason jar of moonshine. And it was like, this was in Tennessee, and it was just real. The guy made it in his backyard. It was the most potent stuff I have ever tried. I was like 17, and I saw the jar sitting there, and my dad's like, "Yeah, it's moonshine." He goes, "You want to try some?" I said, "Yeah." So I took a little sip, and it knocked me on my ass, man. Like, it was like drinking.
A couple of minutes.
Oh man, it wasn't good, but it was. If you wanted to get lit, you didn't need a lot of it.
That's where you got the little gray in your beard when you were 17. You took that shot of the moonshine.
Yeah, man, that just it knocked the color out of me.
My father-in-law was in Ireland visiting his relatives back, 5 or 6 years ago, and he said, "They go, hey, you want some poachine?" He's like, "Yeah." They drove some country road. The dude answered the door. They went in the backyard, opened some latch, and took it out of the ground, and he was on his way. I'm like, nice. That's where it was, like, stored underground. Keep it cool. Troy, my next guest, has made some hand sanitizer. It's like 5 stages, and if you don't get it right, in between like stage 2 and 3, if you drink that, you'll die.
Wow.
So you gotta be like a chemist to do that. So I better not touch it. I'll just wait till someone gives it to me, but
let them take a sip first.
Yeah, that shit is highly flammable.
Yeah. Oh, and just for the record, for all the viewers who are watching or whatnot, so I just went to the dermatologist a week ago, so I have like some. I'm not breaking out in any hives or anything, or got
raising money tonight for Devin, by the way. Yeah. Devin's been sick. Send money.
My fiance was like, "No, go. It'll be great. It'll be good for your skin. It's not gonna hurt." Man, that shit hurt.
Did it? He zapped you?
Yeah, man.
I could have got $20 in a Bic lighter.
Yeah, exactly.
Saved your money. Hey, speaking of hillbillies, I want to ask you about this picture right here. What is this movie part?
Woo, man, that was okay. So last year, when we weren't doing anything and things finally opened back up for us to film, a buddy of mine was involved in a project called Woods of Ash. It's kind of a supernatural thriller movie that shot up in Alaska, which was amazing. So he's like, "Hey man, my buddy's shooting this film. I'm one of the leads. I've always wanted to work with you. Would you be down to come and do it? Like, we're shooting in Alaska. Everything's paid for. There's a budget." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, man, let's go do it." And little did I know what I was getting myself into. I kind of knew, because they're like, "Look, because of everything going on, we're all going to be where we're filming. There's a log cabin where we're going to put everyone up, but basically we're shooting just like we're all like a little family. Everyone's going to be kind of quarantined on this property out in the middle of nowhere. You guys will be in the cabin. The DP has his RV. Locals have their RVs or whatever." I was like, "Yeah, man, hey, I'm down to go out there and just rough it and just have a good time." Well, the cabin's still being built. Little did I know. Which was fine. Yeah, so it played into what the characters were going through in the film. The crazy weather conditions. It was like
they wanted you to be uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, we were fine in the cabin. We had like a wood stove. We had sleeping bags. Like,
fancy.
Yeah, I mean, we had porta potties outside, which was fun. But it was a great experience because it was just amazing filmmakers coming together at a time when we have been shut down for so long.
Yeah.
That were like, "Look, man, we've been wanting to make this. We don't want to wait anymore. we're just gonna go and make it. Love to have you be a part of it. And I was like, yeah. So my character is the lead asshole.
All right.
And so I have like I kind of like run like this crime organization, and some of the guys kind of turned against me and kind of left and stole some shit from me. So I'm actually chasing after them, and it becomes this cat and mouse game in the wilderness of me after them, and these things in the woods are after all of us.
Okay,
I
supernatural.
can't give too much away, but it was a great fun role because it was a character who was always in control, always had the upper hand, and throughout this whole film, like you slowly see him transition to he loses control. Like he loses
his shit.
Yeah, he loses he has vulnerability, and it was great to go from strong to the showing that transition.
The elements make him crazy, like a shining Jack Nicholson.
There was a part of that, but it was the elements because we were out in it all. The characters were out in it all night, but then also whatever's happening in the woods being a part of it, and then also there's a female involved.
All right.
There always is, right? That kind of turns the tide on him also. So it was there's a lot of depth and dynamic to the character, which drew me to the script, and it should be out on Amazon hopefully later this year. I know they're doing some finalization in the editing process and color correction and all that. So I'm excited to see it. I haven't seen any footage, but I know we had a hell of a time making it, and the performances were great. Worked with a good buddy of mine, Chris Levine, who brought me in on the project, and apparently we did such a great job that the director wants to bring us back for another one. So
right on. I saw this picture. I thought it was a sequel to Deliverance or something.
Well, I was locked
in the woods.
Yeah, I was basically locked in a cage in the woods. So yeah,
it's like when you hear banjos in the woods.
Yeah. But that was towards the end of the movie. That's kind of like right at the height of the climax where
at the crazy
it's about to go even crazier than it already has. So
we're looking forward to seeing it. Hey, brother, I know we had some technical issues. I'm going to bring you back on, but I had a whole list of shit I want to talk to you about. But so what do you got coming up? Let's hit something real quick.
Yeah, man. So right now we're in development of a feature film. It was based on a graphic novel that was written by a good friend of mine called The Illume. It's published by Antarctic Press. This was a project I always cast. Yeah, man, that's it.
See, look, I do homework and shit, man.
I was actually cast in that movie probably, I think, around 2005.
Wow.
And then the funding fell through, everything fell apart. The writer retained the rights to it after a certain amount of time. And so he hit me up years later and was like, look, man, I really want to make this film. Like, would you be down to be involved in it? And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, man. Like, let me produce it. Let's take the script and turn it into a graphic novel. And then from the graphic novel, we'll push the film. So right now we have our director, Tatch, Sean. He told me how to say his last name. I have to say it the way he said. Piccinino, Sean Piccinino. Yeah, Sean Piccinino.
Piccinino.
Take another. He's an amazing director. I worked with him on a project called Doolittle's Heroes a few years ago. And he's been killing it. He has 4 films out on Netflix right now, with another one coming out in theaters through Lionsgate later this year. So he's our director. We're in the final stages of locking the script, and then we'll start going out to talent and making offers and trying to get that thing greenlit. So awesome. That's on the fire right now. And we're just, every day we're plugging away. We try to do something every day for the dream that we're living and making things happen.
Keep rocking it, brother. Hey, real quick, what was the hell yeah moment in your career? If you could pick one right now.
Hell yeah moment. You know what? Right now, man.
This is it.
Right now.
Thank you.
This is it. Finally, after years, I'm on the Stevie D podcast. No, it's it gets better every year. That's the amazing thing about it. Like, that the film I just did in Alaska was like a hell yeah moment. I was the lead in the film. It was an amazing character, great direction. It's gonna be a really fun film. And then just being able to take ownership of my life and my career and not relying on the phone call to ring, like you said, like just being able to being in the age where you can be a writer, you can be a director, you can be an actor, and no one's not looking at you going, well, you can't do all three.
Yeah.
Because you can.
Of course you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
It drives you crazy and you won't sleep much, but you can do it.
Yeah. And the other hell yeah moment is finding my fiance after all these years, and she's
somebody finally.
Yeah, let's give it up. Her name's Jocelyn. She's
off the streets.
Yeah, man. She's a union costumer, so she's in the industry and totally gets it. But there's no.
You said union.
We're not. Yeah. So she.
Sugar mama.
We're not. We're not in competition with each other as far as two actors being together or having any of that ego stuff going on. But no, it's things happen with the right time at the right place, and magic happens when it does, man.
We're glad to have you here in this place in the Double Wide tonight, and we'll have you back when the movie comes out on Amazon. Please let me know, Woods of Ash, and let's get you back on here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And if anybody wants to follow me, it's at Devin Reeve on all social media. And then one last thing is we just launched our new company, Intellect.com, which is basically breakdown services for all of Asia. Because when I filmed a couple of movies over there, casting was really difficult because they have no system. So we're in the middle of pushing that out there to the world of saying, hey, if you need to cast your talent over in Asia, use Intellect, because why not?
Intellect. Make it easy. How do you spell that? ENTALEX, right?
ENTALEX.com.
That's it.
Intellect.com. It means Entertainment Talent Exchange.
Woo, that's fancy. All right, Mr. Devin Reeve, thanks for stopping by, brother. Love you, man.
Hey, appreciate it, Stevie. Talk to you next time, homie.
Keep rocking, brother.
Later.
All right, coming up next is a good buddy of mine. He's going to deny that, but I've got some home number. He never answers, but he told me it was his.
I had to change my number.
Always answers. Must be a secretary or something. But one of the most respected hot rod builders in the business. He's won every damn award there is to win, including the Amber Award, the most coveted. And I've been stalking this guy for about 10 years. And you know him from Hollywood Hot Rods, Mr. Troy Ladd.
What's happening?
What's up, buddy?
Oh, I need sound effects. I'm gonna come with sound effects next time.
I had a song queued up, but the cassette kept flipping over, and I didn't know how to get it. Old school. But this is a first. You know what the first is tonight?
What's that?
3 DJs on the show at the same time. Judy Sketch Lewinson, DJ Sketch, Stevie D on the Wheels of Steel, and Mr. Troy Ladd back in the day. What was the DJ name, Troy?
It depends. It depended. There was
on
a variety. There was a variety. Mostly it was DJ Troy Ladd. That was mostly
DJ Troy.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, we were joking about that not too long ago because with COVID and stuff, I had some in the beginning when I was staying on the weekends. I was coming up with more home projects to do, and one of those projects was I pulled the turntables and everything out of storage, and I had to rebuild my Technics 1200s because they got cool LEDs and things for them now. So that was one of my projects, and then the mixer had long, I think the crossfader thing had just long kind of lost its life. So I ended up buying a new one just for fun. And
you should get lint in there. If you flip it back and forth real hard, the crossfader.
That's right.
Blow in there.
But electronics are so cheap. I bought a whole new mixing board just so I had a whole setup again.
Was it a Newmark mixing board?
No. I don't remember what my old one was. MTX, I think.
All right.
This one might be Newmark. It might be.
Newmark was a jam. 1200s. And that's how people say if they say they're a DJ, ask them if they know what Technics 1200s are. If they don't, They're just pushing buttons, brother.
That's right. You can still, I mean, people still use 1200s too. They're like, I was shocked to learn that they're still valuable and they're still being used, because you can use the, we're totally getting off of the subject of cars, by the way.
Okay.
But you can totally run the code disc. So there's vinyl records that have code on it that you can run through the mixing board, so that you can just pull your music off of a laptop instead of actually carrying vinyl.
You need to show me how to do that.
I don't have that. I was thinking about doing it, but then I realized, why am I building this whole DJ thing when I really don't do that anymore? But I don't know.
Yeah. It's because I carried the crates, old school, and that was a hard way to work. And now you don't have to work that hard. So I need to learn how to have everything in the computer. Judy knows how to do that. Sketch knows how to do that, right, Sketch?
I do indeed. I have had every form of DJ equipment setup possible. Some at the exact same time. It's pretty crazy.
See, I only know how to do this. The ones in the twos. Sometimes you have 3 turntables, and you do this a lot when people are trying to bother you and you're going into a mix. You do this a lot. Hold on. Hold on.
I used to, I mean, for money in college, I used to do, well, I did two kinds of DJ. I did like nightclubs, like top 40 type, dance club stuff. And then after that, it would be going to LA and do underground stuff, which was more creative. But yeah, the people in the regular clubs don't understand that you don't get to make requests. I don't talk on the damn microphone. It's just mixing songs all the way through. And I have a pretty good idea of what the night is going to be, because I start with lower BPMs and then end up at higher BPMs at the end of the night. I have a few ways to jump BPMs if I have to. But yeah, that was a whole
you got to time it. Troy, I think I told you back in the day, and when I first started DJing, when I was the chump, I'd be like the DJ in Florida from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. So you DJ 5 or 6 nights a week, 8 hours a night, you're gonna learn your shit. So yeah, I'd have 15, 20 records already turned up, and I knew where I was going for the next hour and a half. So save your request. I can't do it. Oh, I tell them, you know what? If you write that on a 20, I better chance of remembering it, 'cause I just forget shit all the time. Or 100. I mean, you want it next? But you gotta pace the night.
You have to pace the night, and you have to work the floor too, because you have to fill the time and keep the floor moving. But if you lose the floor, then you have like 5 or so guaranteed songs that'll bring the floor back, and then you can build back off of that.
If you lose the whole floor, it's fucking hard to get them back unless you got to drop a bomb.
Yeah.
You got to go, okay, I was saving this for midnight, but it's got to go now. And then the worst is when you play it and then someone comes up and requests it, and like, hey, dumbass, I just played that. Oh, went to the bathroom. Can you play that again? No, fuck, I can't play that again, idiot.
Oh, that's funny. Those were,
the drill.
Those are crazy. Those are crazy days. That was a good job. I mean, it was, I was in college, I'd go work these clubs after night, after school at night, and you get to drink on the job, and it was a good time.
But sometimes drink too much. I'm killing it. Like,
yeah. Oh, and did you have a couple extended mix songs that you could use to go use the restroom?
Oh, you have this 7-8 minute. You're like,
that's right.
Okay, and go.
That's right.
I go. I had this club in Florida, a huge nightclub I worked at, and there was a spiral staircase that led up to my DJ booth. And there was a little loft thing with some couches, VIP lounge up there, and I knew just how to zip down that spiral staircase, get to the bathroom, get right up before the break. I'd already have the break queued up for my next song. The BPM's already lined up. I'd have shit lined up. And anybody touch anything? And then I would run back.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I remember it well.
Yep. All right, buddy. So that was our heyday. So what else you got going on over there at Hollywood Hot Rods?
The usual stuff, building cars and waiting for the world to open back up so we can have some car shows. We were going to debut a car in May, but that show got canceled. Now we're back to January. So
where was that? Was that Arizona? What was that?
No, Arizona's not closed now. I'm going to Arizona next week for the Barrett Jackson, the auction week.
All right.
Yeah. No, Grand National Roadster show. They had moved it from January to May, and then canceled it. So now it's May. So that'll be a our next big debut. But I said next week I'm going to the Barrett-Jackson week, and we're showing the Mulholland Speedster to compete in the I think it's called the Barrett-Jackson Cup or something like that. So it's not being sold. It's there's like a car show.
Okay.
So that'll be pretty
I was
cool.
gonna say, don't tell me he's selling that.
No.
That was going to be a question I have for you, because I actually, believe it or not, I wrote down a couple of questions tonight.
Okay.
Sometimes we just drink and shoot the bull, but
yeah, you know, and that reminded me too. I wanted to you always again, I'll let you do your questions, but if we have time, you always ask about like rock star stuff, like rock stars and cars, because they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we ever talked about how I'm bigger than Metallica. Have we told that story?
I know, I love that story, and I hope you do tell it.
Yeah,
all right,
that's a good story.
Metallica.
Yes,
Okay,
right.
add that to my questions. No, but you just made me think when you were saying Barrett-Jackson. I was hoping he wasn't gonna, because the Mulholland Speedster, is that your car that's won the most awards?
Yeah, by far, and really so far, kind of the pinnacle of the evolution of my career, just because each car we build is better than the next, and that thing is kind of it's just so over the top, and so much, 6 years and thousands of hours of time and money, and so yeah, that's going to be a hard car to beat. But like in this little coupe that we're going to debut next, we're hoping it's going to be equivalent in yeah, but different. Yeah, equivalent in reputation. Like hopefully it'll win as much too. You're always hoping, but totally different car. So it's like apples and apples, but we're kind of trying to own two different genres. So we'll see.
Because I've asked you before your favorite build, and you'll say your next build. But
you already know
I know the Mulholland Speedster. I saw the sketch on the wall for years, and that when it was coming together, every stage of it. So it was just amazing. I'm glad I was at the Grand National. I'm glad I was at that show when you won the Amber and Court. Unfortunately, I had to bust out a little bit early, but I don't know if you knew that. But yeah, I was there. No, I mean, I was there when you won the.
That's right.
A mob of people around you, but
that was crazy. That was really crazy. And yeah, and then after that, it just kept winning. And like I said, it hasn't even been out for probably over a year. So this will be fun to get it back out, and it's a couple year old car, and see how it fares, in competing after it's been done a few years. So it'll be interesting. See how it goes.
And your client that bought that also got that carbon fiber GT, Ford GT, the one of one, right?
Yeah. Well, that was the first one.
You got the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was the first liquid carbon Ford GT, and basically it was just exposed, all carbon fiber exposed, no paint. I think it had 2 racing stripes, but
that's crazy.
But yeah, I went up there for when Ford brought it and trained him on it, and I was part of that and got to drive it. It's cool.
You have to be trained to drive that. You have to be trained.
Well, I mean, dude, when you buy a car like that, you are given your own concierge that he walks you through the process. They give you this whole gift box of materials that you pick at. It's a whole different level. And then when Ford,
I don't know anything about that.
Oh yeah, that's right. But yeah, so when Ford dropped it off, they come with a big truck. There's a race car driver, like a trained driver with it, and they drop off the car, and he spends the day there training you on the car and how to drive it and how it works. And it's a whole thing.
He's like, I'm Jeeves. I'm going to be your driver for the next week. You can go now. No, I'm not going. It's contractually, I'm here for a week. So he can't sell that car, right? For 2 years?
Correct. Yeah. You can't sell it for 2 years. Yeah.
Master. Because that leads me back to the
what's
question.
Really funny though, just real quick, what's hilarious is he was trying to get that car for so long and not getting accepted. You have to apply for it, get accepted for it, and like it's a whole process. And he kept not making the cut. And his wife made a hilarious joke. She said, "It's like winning the reverse lottery, because if you win, you get to write them a check for $800,000."
Yeah. Give us $1 million. Congratulations.
I know you won.
Make the check payable to Ford Motor.
That's right. So
Damn.
funny. Anyway.
No, but because I know a celebrity that had a Ford GT and he sold it before the 2 years and he got sued. And my question to you was, I know people come to you and they probably come to you before with an idea that you didn't want to do the car. So, or someone may come to you that you may personally not like them. And I know you're you're a proud guy, and you wouldn't make a car for somebody I don't think that you didn't personally respect. Because even when I tried to meet you the first time, you were an ass to me. And now we're good buddies. You were a total dick to me, but we're good. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
we're good buddies, but I still don't respect you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's cool. All right, I'll take that.
No,
As long as we're buddies, that's good.
no.
Have you ever built a car for someone and then that person sold the car to someone and then you saw the car at somewhere at a car show, or you heard that they had sold it and you're like, no.
Huh.
If you got some douchebag driving around going, I got a Hollywood Hot Rod Roadster, it took him 4 years to build, and
That's interesting. I can't. Quite honestly, it's worked in the reverse for me.
like what?
Well, like the Black Widow, you know, the car that it was in the
That's
Peterson
what I was
Museum.
thinking of.
Yeah, that guy. We built it for a gentleman.
A
And he
guy.
was,
Yeah.
the guy we built it for was whatever, you know, he was okay, but I didn't have any problems with him, but whatever. And he sold that to the gentleman that we ended up building
Okay.
MON for. So in
Oh,
that case, he sold the car to somebody that was much better in the
cool
end.
guy. And now
Yeah.
you're good friend. You're good friends with that guy, and he's got
Yeah.
a sick collection.
Yeah. And we've done like 3 cars for him.
Wow.
So yeah, so in that respect, a guy that was just whatever, you know, he was, I mean, nothing wrong with him. He was fine, but he ended up selling it to a guy that ended up being like somebody I was much more relatable to, and we're still friends. We've done multiple cars, so that was pretty cool. And there is weird things like my own car. I don't know where it ended up, but like I sold my car to a guy that took it to the island of Cyprus in the Mediterranean.
Mhm.
And then it lived there for a while. Only hot rod ever been on the island. Then it went
Wow.
to France, and then it had been traveling around Europe. And then he sold it to someone else, and it ended up in Texas. And then the gentleman that we're building this new coupe for, our next big,
Uh-huh.
big car, he saw this car. He's from Texas. He saw the car in Texas, and he called me up and he said, "Hey, I just saw this car that they said it used to be your car and you built it. I really like it, but the guy won't sell it. You have any other cars for sale?" And then I'm like, well, I have this other project. And I ended up building him a car, again, based on my car being sold and then traveling around the world and coming back and ending up in Texas. So that was kind of weird.
Wow.
And I do know of a car currently that we really like the car. It's a great car. That's a little burgundy colored pickup truck. It's got a Boss 429 inches on my website, like little roadster pickup that we
Okay.
built that for a really nice guy in North Carolina, which I really liked. And he had to sell it. And now I just found out it's in Newport Beach. It's back here. And the new owner has been texting me saying, "Hey, if you want to take it to a show or you want to do anything, it's back." So it's weird how they come around. But so far, I don't think any of our cars have ended up with somebody that I really dislike. I don't think.
That you have to see the guy going.
Yeah,
Never
so
build a car
far,
for this guy.
yeah, so far so good.
Because I know you and I were working on a show once, and you know the suits always come in with their ideas. And
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
the guy was telling us, "Hey, it'd be cool to film like people coming into you, but you don't like them, so you go, no, get out of my eye." Like that's not Troy. He's not gonna fucking.
Yeah,
Don't have
that'd be
DeVita
great.
do the dirty work.
That's right. Yeah, that'd be great television. Good idea.
Yeah. Let's be mean to people. Some guy.
No, but quite often, lots of times, Stevie, I've had guys that come in that they have ideas for a car that's totally not what we do, and that I just wouldn't do.
Yeah.
But I can sometimes kind of start to educate them or give them ideas on the kind of design style that I like and that we do. And many times I've been able to kind of show them a different, like our style, and then they like it. We build them a car, and in the end, it's a great relationship, because people just don't
They don't know.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, there are different styles and there are
Money
different.
can't buy taste, right?
That's true. It's absolutely
Here's a fine
true.
example of that. It's a Lamborghini Trans Am.
Is that yours?
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like
I
a
know
Kentucky Porsche.
Yeah, I've got friends, you know, as you know, and we got mutual friends that do different types of builds. And I know you're not a flames guy. You're not come to you with wacky
No.
ideas. So you respect tradition. That's your thing. Respect
Well,
tradition.
I kind of, I mean, at the risk of sounding kind of like, I don't want to sound like a know-it-all or anything, but I think a lot of times in the car world, taste, and especially with collectors, you evolve. And you know, people are drawn in by like, ooh, crazy flames, wacky, like we call that a clown on fire. Like, because if you take like a car like that with underglow and big wing, if you take that to like a car show, it will attract attention, but it's not attracting people for the right reasons. We call that a clown on fire. You're gonna,
and it's not attracting people that can afford to build a car.
And so I think like at least what we've dealt with a lot of people, like more on the, we do hot rods, but we also deal with on a higher level with like Pebble Beach level people and things like that. I think that the tastes evolve and collect. Well, some people just, well, they're just happy with their clown on fire, right? Yeah. but there's really a different, we call it kind of like a subtle elegance to, we think, what we do, because we there's so much metalwork, so much design changes, like the body, and like, you know, we'll section a car 3/4 of an inch, we'll lengthen it, we move metal to give it a flowing design, and then in it we'll paint it like a subtle color, like we have a couple of cars that are over the top metalworking masterpieces that are like brown, you know, or something. And so the design of the car needs to speak for itself. So it's really more of an elegant style. We believe more classy. We try to make things classy and elegant. You know, purple and flames and underglow is not classy nor elegant.
Yeah.
So
that brings me, who picks the color? Like, I know you like the burnt oranges, and you've got like the reds.
It's always a team effort, because it's, you know, it's the customer's car, so they have the ultimate say. But I try to influence the decision pretty strongly, and a lot of times it's even fluid. Like, we don't know in the beginning what it's going to be, and
You don't
sometimes,
know.
lots of times, or we'll know the color family, or at least the idea, but we kind of say sometimes the car wants what it wants. Yeah. Like you kind of, you want something that matches the overall design style, and there's a color palette, not a color. So we have primary and secondary colors, and so we have to work with all of those things. We also use sheen and texture as well. So all of those pieces have to be part of the overall color palette to build a cohesive package. So it's more artistic than people think, you know. I think.
Yeah, it's not just like, I want a yellow car.
Yeah.
So I saw Jesse James on an interview the other day saying Sylvester Stallone had bought like a yellow Lamborghini and wanted him to build a yellow bike to match the Lamborghini, and he said no. He goes, hey, what do you mean? Hey, what you're they? Hey, what do you mean? I want a yellow. He goes, I'm not gonna build a yellow. I don't do yellow bikes.
Jesse James hates yellow.
Yeah.
I've seen him talk about that before.
Yeah, he likes that story. He likes that story.
Yeah.
But by the way, that reminded me. So my brother-in-law that wanted to be a car designer, that's now a furniture designer. I put up on Facebook, anybody have fan questions for Troy? And he had a question for you. So this goes out from Mike Farrell. What non-American cars would make the coolest hot rods?
Well, it depends. I mean, all cars matter. Right?
Yeah, all cars.
So, you know what's really, I think, really cool right now? There's a few companies that do it, like Emery Motorsports or Singer. They're like Porsches, like outlaw Porsches. An outlaw Porsche is basically a hot rodded car. So that makes a really good kind of unique build package. That's cool. Of course, I mean, it's easy to say that tuner cars and Hondas and Toyotas and things like that. There's a whole world of, I mean, that's hot rodding. You
consider that hot rods?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in its purest form. I mean, I guess the definition of hot rod is a motor vehicle that's been modified for speed or performance. I mean, that's probably the most basic definition. So sure, in that genre, and they're all different genres of and then of course, like early Bugattis and things, those like the race cars, those are just beautiful in a hot rod element. We use design styles from early Bugatti and stuff, even though those weren't modified hot rods, but they were race cars. They're so mechanically beautiful. So, I mean, you really
seen elements in a Bugatti that you saw on a hot rod. Cause I know you,
yeah, we use them all the time. Like we use Bugatti and Art Deco and French inspired stuff in our hot rods all the time. And I really think it's a little bit of, I think American hot rodders have to maybe not be so egotistical and be so egocentric. Like there's so much
Detroit.
There's so much cool stuff out there that you can appreciate and you can use inspiration from, or just, there's a whole world of cars. So I think it's important to not get hung up in like one thing, but that being the case, I like hot rods, and I also have used European design styling in our hot rods. So I don't know what else would be cool. So like Porsche seems to be a big thing right now. Of course, the tuner thing, those are all going to be Asian. What German?
That brings me to another fan ask, what do you think about pro street cars? What's a pro street? Is that like a drag car?
That's kind of like the I guess it depends on how you define it. Pro street is kind of given away to pro touring these days, because pro street was really more of like an 80s, 90s thing.
Okay.
And it's basically like a street car with tubbed and narrowed rear rim with huge street slicks or Mickey Thompson tires. So it was like kind of like a drag car, but for the street, so pro street. Those are cool. I mean, that was a changing of the entire direction of hot rodding for its time. Yeah. But now I think pro touring and is kind of the new version of that. So
that's right. All right. Well, we got to the fan questions. All right.
Nice. Woo, I got 2 fans.
No, you got more, but we just have a certain amount of time. All right. So tell me the Metallica. I like rock and roll stories.
You wanted to do that. So the reason I thought of this, of course, because we're always combining hot rods and rock and roll. So super funny story. So Grand National Roadster Show, a few years back, I have cars in a booth. We have a whole booth and display, and my whole weekend is shaking hands and we signing autographs or whatever. We selling T-shirts, right? So I was talking to James Hetfield in our booth. He's a hot rod guy, and he wandered in. We're talking about hot rods and having a conversation, and super nice guy. He was like such a good guy. So we're just having a guy conversation, and pretty soon, I mean, super crowded show. People start to kind of gather around us, and I could see out of the corner of my eye that there's a little, group forming, and I'm thinking, like, any second somebody's going to break in and just have to meet James Hetfield. That's just, I mean, he's one of the biggest, rock stars in the world. Yeah. So I was just enjoying my time that I get to speak with him a little bit myself. So we're talking, and sure enough, a guy breaks from the group, and he's like, I don't mean to interrupt, excuse me, but big fan. I wanted to get an autograph and a picture. We're like, okay. So he hands the camera to James Hetfield, and the guy puts his arm around me, and he's like, "Did you take a picture of me and Troy?"
I didn't like that one. Do another one. Can you back up a little bit?
And then when that guy broke the ice, then the other people did it. So we did like a whole little picture autograph thing.
That's
and it was
awesome.
James Hetfield the whole time taking the pictures.
Nice.
And then we did that for 4 or 5 people, and then they kind of dispersed. And then I'm looking at him like, oh,
sorry,
man, that's kind of weird. And he's like, that's the funniest shit that ever happened. He's like, I can't even go to the grocery store.
And that's so cool.
So he thought it was really funny.
I'm sure he's a fan of yours. He loves hot rods, and I'm sure he respects what you're doing.
Yeah, we had a good time talking about hot stuff. So I ran around for the weekend saying I was bigger than Metallica. Because
my photographer will be around in a minute. James Hetfield, he'll be around.
So funny stuff.
I have so many of your cars I love. I couldn't decide, so I'm going to run through a few of them right here. And just real quick, this is one of my favorites and a beautiful shot. I think you'll like this shot.
Oh yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, the black Roadster.
Yeah, and I don't know who your model is there, but
wait, hold on, I got
I don't know.
Nice.
Or it could be, I have so many of your cars.
Oh, I need those.
That's the one with the war, the plane. You use them. You got so many.
I need all of those.
Davita's car, the comment, just so many. I couldn't decide, but
maybe. Yeah, all that really happened. We did a whole photo shoot.
Our favorite model.
That is our favorite model.
This one,
man.
From the website, you can see this one is my favorite. Old school. So Troy we used to get each other all the time. It'd be like, Trump is being indicted. Click here, and you got me, you son of a bitch.
I know. Good old big
Rick road, it was more like a dick road.
I know. I think between you and I, my brother-in-law, and a couple of people, I've probably gone through 100 pictures of that gentleman.
I know, we need a new one. We need a new one this year.
Yeah, but yeah, it turns out, all kidding aside, somebody did like a little documentary on him, and he was actually a really good guy. He was actually a super nice guy.
And I was like, you're killing the illusion, Troy.
That's true. Once he became, yeah. But he's got a kind face, even in those pictures. Like, look, he's got a kind.
Like, why am I sitting here on the edge of this man's bed? I know. I kind of feel bad for him, but anyway, I love all those cars, and your model was great. And
I need those. I'm gonna make T-shirts.
I'll send you all those tonight.
All right.
Davita's especially gonna like the one in her car, the Comet with that. Yeah,
that's right. That's hilarious.
I spent all of like 6 minutes on that last night. I go, I'm gonna get good. I'm gonna get him good.
Well, to put this into perspective, I think the first time I did your podcast here, I had his T-shirt. His face was on a T-shirt.
That's right.
That was the first time I did your show. Had that. Yeah.
Represent with pride. All right, Mr. Troy Ladd. I asked my last guest, Devin, if he had a hell yeah moment, and I think the Mulholland Speedster is probably going to be your answer, right?
Oh, geez, yeah. When they announced, there's video of it somewhere when they announced that we had won, America's Most Beautiful Roadster. It was like, to put it in perspective to people. If you're a recording artist and you win an Emmy, or if you're an actor and you win an Oscar, it's in our world. If you build a car and you win America's Most Beautiful Roadster, that's it. Yeah. And so it was a pretty big deal. That's decided by your peers as well, kind of like the Academy. So yeah, it was just emotions and probably a little tear or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your image there.
It's a big deal. I know.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for stopping by the Double Wide. Proud to call you my friend, and tell everyone there I said hi, and Davita I said hi, and I apologize for what I did to her car. But I will send you those tonight.
I can't wait to show those. Those are awesome.
Thanks for stopping by, Mr. Troy Ladd. Everybody go HollywoodHotRods.com, right, Troy?
You got it.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Always nice to talk to you guys.
All right, brother. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Mr. Troy Ladd. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching once again. Stevie D and Judy Sketch Lewinson and our Come On Get Happy Hour. Just trying to keep y'all happy, keep you laughing.
Yeah.
Cool gas rolling. We got more coming up. This airs every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. on YouTube, and Stevie D and his so-called friends page on Facebook.
Yeah.
If you have a guest you'd love to see in the comedy world, rock world, hot rod world, if we can get to them, we'll try to do that. And everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you, Sketch. Everybody,
Yes.
we'll see you next week.
Great episode. Let's put on
Take
some
us out.
music and get out of here. All right.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
You're in the mix with JudiLew. You're in the mix with JudiLew.
Hey, DJ,